Greetings! I'm Rodger Newbold, and welcome to episode number 48 of the Experienced Photography Vlog. My fellow photographer, partner, editor for this episode is Mr. Matt Rich. You know, he has the eyes that wafts in to watch over every condition and improves all that goes on. Now, it's been a real near hurricane here. Did a zephyr blow you into set today? Oh my. In our most recent past episode, we observed the fine works of 4 guests and how they prepared to be more successful in their photography. We really hope that the days have allowed you to gather in many of their great ideas and suggestions and become more fruitful and dynamic in your photography. And I want to tell them how much I appreciate their contributions in making our vlog so good. Thank you. Well, a day or two ago, a funny thing happened to me on the way to the forum. I mean the post office. I consulted the gurus on the weather app. They assured me that everything was well. Obviously, the prognosticators erred once again, because when I watched the news on the TV channel later, it reported we'd had experienced wind gusts in excess of 60 miles an hour. And I felt what little hair I had left had blown to the leeward side of my head. Oh me, oh my. It was hurricane velocity. The circumstances, however, did not dissuade me from snagging my camera from the hook near the back door before being swept down the driveway by the wind. Camera came with me. Of course, you know you have been already warned not to go out without a camera. En route, despite the raging tempest, I was lucky enough to spot a group of vertical trees along a wall. Now, they were well supported and they were barely even moving. I thought, this is going to be easy. Like most of my plans, things soon went swoosh right along with the wind. First of all, the tripod was not being cooperative. Our dance contest, it was nigh impossible. You know, you should use a tripod whenever possible. But this sucker's just insisted on being the lead partner in our dance. So I had to increase both shutter speed and ISO considerably before we departed for Oz. I was finally able to convince my pirouetting pile of gear to go clicking the rhythm with the gale. I use a fast shutter speed when I use faster shutter speeds when it's windy. Whether you're using a tripod or not, just good sense. All things considered, not a bad picture. Well, come on, how windy was it? Well, take a look at this picture of Retro Betty's. When I began my expedition, Betty wasn't retro. But to keep from being blustered right off of the roadway, I took a clue from one of our viewer friends, Les Spencer, and shot from inside the safety of my truck through an open window. Yeah. Now, just listening to the wailing of the wind irritated every nerve ending. The perceived drop in temperature didn't do a whole lot for my cheery attitude either. You know, some days you just have to use every trick in the book to get a good shot. And then you grin and bear it. So shoot through an open car window with the engine off. There's a story there for another time. Engine off. Often one must stop and think of photography as more than just a means of image recording. You know, expand the capture phase intensely. If the goal was merely to make happy snaps, I surely wouldn't have proceeded in such an oppositional condition as that much wind. You know, the quality of new experience became more of a priority than a simple errand as it began. Suddenly, I felt the nuance, the subtlety, the feelings that were being transcribed. It was not so much about the quality of the photograph, but it was about the quality of life, the life I strive to live. You know, you've got to strive yourself for a good quality of lifestyle. And if this is what makes you happy, go for it. Creativity is sustained by trying new ideas. It's not necessarily doing the same old thing once again. If you want a different outcome, try a different input formula. One strategy is to be open to going off the map, so to speak. And you have to be able to do it rather promptly. How willing are you to depart from your original plan? To deviate from one resolution to another? Or even adopt a completely new route? Well, you gotta be. Can you be free enough to be self-expressive? Can you allow for change of plans to occur? You know, it's really nigh on impossible to naively will yourself to become creative. You have to push yourself continually and establish visible reminders to think imaginatively. You know, generate some affirmations. I do it all the time. I find little sayings and twerks, and I put them up and keep them up for a week or two to consciously remind me and my dubious mind of the hunt. Mindfully practice by reading. Yeah, I read a lot. And then ponder. And I mean genuine, deep, thoughtful evaluations. Think about what others said, what others did, how they accomplished it, what was their motivation. Review the works of others. You got a lot of friends that shoot photographs. You got a lot of books available to you. You got a gazillion YouTube channels. I thank you for watching ours, and I'm hoping that by experimenting and watching this and doing things, you make new images and use new techniques. You see, trying to become is far more important than just basking in the I'm being it. Just do it. Experiment. Get out there and try something totally off the wall. Do you ever feel drawn in by a first-rate photograph? or maybe a great song, or some splendid memory. Maybe that's why you're attracted to the artistic inclinations. Do you get as excited about that as maybe a hot bolt of lightning hitting right next to you? Sometimes it comes as a clash, but most of the time it comes as a soft whisper. Quiet feelings. They slowly brightening in fulfillments that flip our switch. That's what we should be looking for. Be proactive in providing yourself sufficient quiet time in your life. You got to heed the wizard as he enters the room. Be tender. These are visceral, primal feelings. They're not cerebral manifestations at all. You can be shockingly vulnerable if you endeavor for such developments in your life. Listen carefully. Now, here's a picture of Capitol Reef in the wind. Sometimes the wind complicates the process. Sometimes the wind complements the process. Certainly there is no one right answer. Preserve your state of awareness by daily fine-tuning. Be cognizant of your responses. You just may be treading on your next creative masterwork. Get with it. Connect all the dots. Take a look. Feel it. Now, here comes one. Spiraling wind. It's funny how impressive photos get blown into our view. While the wind is whipping the dust into your eyes, while it's drying out your face so you look like 100-year-old tortoise, and it's causing you to stagger like a pub patron, you got to find a way to continue to shoot. A little wind. So when the wind becomes an unseen enemy and threatens your peace to destroy, reach for another favorite trick of mine. Here's a trick that's not in the bag. It is the bag itself. Use the bag weight as a positive help. Yeah. Temporarily, you simply get a S-hook from the hardware store, or a nylon strap or a Velcro strap. It makes the job easy. Loop it around the shoulder of the tripod, loop it around the handle of your bag or pack, let it hang down. It's an easy peasy job. Then let the winds of heaven dance around you and shoot your trusted camera while it is bogged down heavily and securely. Now, just a thought. But when the wind blows, some people clear out. But smart pants build a windmill. Yeah. Remember back in the 1930s? Me neither. Back then, though, in the land that time forgot, some old boys named Ansel Adams and Edward Weston proclaimed there were possibilities in photography that extended beyond mere factual copying of reality. This is the opportunity we have, and that we have been presented today, to spawn new varieties and better all-around photographs. The technical limitations of photography are fewer than they've ever been before. Digital post-processing has inspired even film captures into advanced realms. All manner of software solutions help enhance our thoughts into pictures. This journey is now shorter, but the competition is way much taller. Now, one must keep up to date with whatever technology you engage in. Whatever it might be, you have to keep up so you can express yourself. Follow your heart wherever it takes you. Nobody's really sure how the wind will blow today. The same wind blows on all of us. The wind of disaster, the wind of opportunity, or the wind of change. One must realize it is less about the wind and more about the setting of your sails that will determine your direction in life. So set a positive course for your life. Set a creative setting that will give you excitement in life. Well, folks, I believe our time's up for today. We truly hope you have reached out and plucked some gusty suggestions out of the air today. As always, our desire is to aid you in your image quest. Now, if you found this vlog to be valuable, come on, share it with somebody new. Get out there and give them some peace and happiness and some new hints and tips about blustery times in their life. And if you're reading between the lines, I hope so, I trust you'll acquire more than photographic knowledge here. Now, please subscribe. I appreciate it. Ring that little bell. Give us a giant thumbs up. I really do. So, until we meet here again online, a tip of my hat to you, my friends, and cheerio.